We have viewers, yes! We're on the air. Nice. Welcome, guys. Thanks. Cool. I'm just going to wait a few minutes to let people drop in and whatnot. So let me quickly. That's muted. Phone is muted. Good. Wow. So, schedule for today is a bit. I'm going to demo a few things on RedStar OS, desktop and the server edition. And what I've done, first we're going to tackle the desktop edition, even though I think that's the most covered already, but that's the one which I can imagine most people are interested in. So what I've done for the moment, I've prepared a small little VM with just the basics of installations. There's like the bare minimum. After that, I'm just going to go over the installation process, going to show like, hey, what's possible, what can we do, what options are there available. After that, we're going to dig a little bit into the desktop edition, and after that, we're going to do the same thing for the server edition, with the exception that we're not going to install it, because the server installation is the most boring ever. It's just a basic, I want to call it a Debian installation, and that's it. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I've got to say, this is my second stream, so don't expect any high quality production or anything. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Cool. Now let's see. Let's see if the VM even starts up. Because this afternoon I've had some issues with it. So well, I think the first thing to point out, which is obvious as day, is where the Korean Computer Institute got their inspiration from. I mean, first thing you look at it, thanks. First thing you look at it, the first thing you'll see is like, it basically looks like Mac OS from like 2007, 2008. So that's one of the things which is really interesting to see, because the backstory behind why it looks like this is that Kim Jong-un always had exactly, wave hack. No, so the story behind this is that when Kim Jong-un grew up in Switzerland, he worked with Mac machines. So, and that was kind of, that's what we think is the cause behind this. So, so that's the reason why we think like, hey, this is one of the reasons behind the macOS look and feel of it. So, as I've already mentioned, it's a basic install. Give me 1 second. I know the mouse in the VM is a bit finicky. Can we work now? Ah, come on. So, this is the settings panel. It basically looks like your average macOS control panel. there's something about the startup disk. Oh. It's funny. Can I show that? Oh no, I can't because the mouse is being finicky. Yeah, it's customized KDE. Let's first roll back a bit. So RedStar OS is based on Red Hat, on a Red Hat distribution. And on the desktop, as far as I know, and we're going to dig into that when we get a little bit deeper into the stream, there is no terminal application available. At least not out of the box. So that's a bit of a hindrance, but we can work around that. That shouldn't be any problem. But yeah, it's customized KDE. From the top of my head, I want to say it's KDE 4. So this afternoon, for example, I was fiddling around with the VM, trying to get it to work. And because as you can see, the mouse icon currently is at my top bar, but in the VM it's somewhere in the middle. Yeah, launching nukes. Yeah, no. But it's really funny because they've actually they made a pretty decent effort of making it look like macOS. So for example, one of the things which works is if I now press Control Q, my application closes. Well, normally in macOS it's Command Q, and there are more of these little types of things which RedStar OS does, which makes it look and act and behave sort of like macOS, which is really funny if you think about it, because they really put in the effort. And what I really want to fix is the mouse icon. Does this work? Yeah, this works perfect. So and now it acts up again. Yeah, so Korean keyboards basically use the quote-unquote ANSI ISO standard, so the basic default regular keyboards. The only thing is that you have the Korean character Hangul on the keyboard instead of QWERTY, but other than that, it's just your average regular keyboard. So first thing I want to see if I can get into the top right corner, or can I do that from here, from the top of my head? Is that here? Oh yeah, so this is just your regular settings. For the people that have used macOS in the past, they'll know like, hey, this looks a lot like macOS. And I really want to see. Yeah, so user settings. I mean, if I compare that against modern day macOS, or macOS it's trying to emulate, Lion, Leopard, it's actually, I don't know if it only works with Qt applications, because I haven't done any compilation or anything for this platform, because from the top of my head, it runs on a kernel, Linux kernel 2.4. So that's really interesting, because it's relatively old, even by those standards. Because RedStar OS version 3.0 was released in 2012. And even by those standards, the software was already pretty out of date. Because as it goes with North Korea and external information flowing in, and particularly IT information flowing into the country, it goes through China. And that's obviously a hindrance. So it's not going to be the latest and greatest, which was released at that time. So the only thing which I've changed this afternoon is that I now have an American keyboard instead of the... As you can tell, RedStar OS can be a bit buggy, because I should be on the Korean keyboard settings right now, but it still accepts regular Latin characters, which is really funny. So I know there should be a setting somewhere to change the language of the operating system, and I know that not everything will be translated perfectly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat a bit, because I can speak a little bit of Korean. I can read a little bit of Korean, but North Korean dialect is slightly different, especially when it comes to computer terms and terms which have been imported. Yeah, that's one of the questions which I have as well, because I know that I did a little deep dive into the server edition because I've had pretty easy access to the console, and you have quote-unquote root access on the server edition. So I know the server edition doesn't have any package repositories, as in officials, mentioned in the YUM packages. What it does have is some references to some IP addresses, some internal IP addresses. So the North Korean quote-unquote internet is pretty. It's basically a giant LAN network. That's all it is. That's all it is. And so the you'll see on the server edition some references to the internal networks, which is funny because they're totally not accessible from the outside. To answer the question of to what the North Korean won is pegged to, there are two exchange rates for that. There's the quote-unquote official exchange rates, so those are the exchange rates you can get at the touristy places in North Korea if you take a tour there. And there's also the black market exchange rate. So it's everything is in a semi either 192.168 IP address range or the 176 range. There are some leaked pictures of what's been of what is quote unquote available on their LAN. So we know, for example, that there are some cooking websites and some other I want to call it internet banking services available. Other than that, it's all a big mystery. They don't do DNS resolving, for example. So everything which you do in the North Korean local network is on IP address based, which if you're looking from the outside in, it's really interesting, right? There's no DNS anywhere And it makes sense because DNS is something which you can override locally. So I would imagine that they might have done it out of security concerns. But on the other hand, they do provide publicly DNS servers for their propaganda websites, which are available for the rest. For the propaganda websites, which are available for the rest of the world. So they do have the knowledge of maintaining DNS servers, and particularly Bind, which is one they primarily use. But that's a pretty, it's an interesting choice, shall we say. But RedStar OS, I'm going to cheat a little bit, as I've already mentioned, because what I'm going to be doing is I have Google Translate available on my phone, so I'm just going to go over a few things where I'm like, what do you mean? So, especially North Korea doesn't have loan words from English, for example. So, quote-unquote South Korean language has loan words like computer and stuff like that. And in North Korea, they don't use those terms, which you sometimes get into weird territory if you know your Korean a little bit. Yeah, let's start off with the basics. I mean, this is your average Finder in macOS, so I don't know if there are any people that use macOS, but you used to have this thing called the Dropbox, which was a semi-publicly available option which you could enable in your macOS settings. So they've cloned that. There are some folders for music, for documents, for movies, for songs. They have some options for, and I'm quickly going to Google Translate this because my Korean is really bad lately. Yeah, so yeah, I could make a new folder and say, hey, now I have a folder, and I could get some information like, as you can see, this really looks like your average macOS preview window. Nothing out of the ordinary. Even I could unlock it, and then I could say like, hey, I'm going to give the system admin access to that folder, or no, I'm just going to remove him. I can't, which is funny. Okay. But settings, keyboard language settings, like, hey, what are your preferred method of writing your actually, I'm going to get to that with the spyware, because RedStar OS, especially the desktop version, does something really fun, which has been pretty heavily documented. But going over the settings, hot corners as you imagine them in macOS, they cloned that. I think this has to do with the dock, and then you could set the magnification, and you could say like, hey, I want it on the right or on the bottom, or I want to automatically hide it or not. All the settings you've come to expect. They've cloned the file vault in macOS, so the old file vault where you could say like, hey, and the security services that goes with it, so I can configure an HTTP server on the machine. I could do some bus sharing if I want. I could spin up an Apache server if I want, so I could do some HTTPS. There's an SSH daemon available, which might be interesting to look at, because now I'm curious what the in what way it is encrypted. So I'm just going to, yeah, so this is the old firewall settings. So now I've enabled the incoming connections, and now I should be able to enable that. This is, I think from the top of my head, this is just your basic screen for configuring some for the what they call the security checks on boot. So there's this system on the desktop edition which checks if the system files have been tampered with. So here you could say like, hey, I want to enable that, and they kind of call it a firewall, but I'm not sure if you can call it an actual fire scanner. Because definitely at this point Linux didn't have any notable viruses. So there's that. Here are the settings for the UI. I could change the colors, and for example, if I compare it to the old macOS settings, it looks, I can show you. If I, yeah. So this is the old 10.6 or 10.7 control panel, but it looks really similar to that. So this is just for the UI settings. It even does the old macOS thing, where even if you have multiple windows open, it just shows one icon. It listens to controls. These are your average mouse controls. It's your hotkeys. Some power settings, which currently does not work because I'm running it in a VM. I know that if you run it on physical hardware, you can actually configure stuff like, hey, battery life, how long does the battery last? How do I deal with that? How power saving management options, stuff like that. Here are some basic display settings, like, hey, what's the resolution? At the moment I'm not going to touch that because I know it will break. As I've just shown, the control panel just crashed. Does it crash? Yeah, it crashes. Okay. Okay, it crashes. So there's printing support built in. Yeah, it looks so innocent on the surface. Here's some stuff with network sharing. There's a VNC server built in. There is, I think, and I need to Google Translate for this. I think this section is on the SSH server. Yeah, so this is exactly on the SSH server. So if you want to know, for example, a difference between North and South Korean language, Papago, so the big translator app in Korea for translating English to Korean and the other way around, this says remote subscription, but they actually mean like it's enabled or disabled. So these are one of those words where in South Korean it would be subscription instead of servers running or something along those lines. So let's see, I've just enabled it. Okay, so I'm just going to set it to all users. All users can do an SSH connection to the machine, and I'm curious, we're going to see that in a bit. Your default macOS network settings, they've really gone to a lot of effort just to clone everything. So it's really funny because RedStar OS 3 is the first one that actually supports IPv6. It should support it, but as you can see, it doesn't. My internal network should supply it with an IPv6 address. Clearly doesn't. Here we can configure some other network adapter, and we could say, or we do PPOE. This is on the startup disk. User, as I already mentioned, and this is just your average. Hey, what's the time? And what's really funny, what I find really funny, is they use the official ntp.org servers for their date-time protocols. So because this is such an old distro, it still uses Pyongyang time, and Pyongyang time was half an hour earlier compared to Seoul time. So if you see dates or the time being out of whack by 30 minutes, you'll know the reason. The hardware they run this on, this is primarily a distribution meant for their internal, what they call computer labs. So in North Korea, not everybody has access to a personal computer. And what we do know about the machines is they're usually, or mostly, old passed on hardware. So, for example, in 2014 or 2015, there were some reports coming out that on some hardware, some photos were leaked with some hardware specifications leaking out, which were basically at that point running cores, the old Intel Core the Core Solo machines. And I've seen pictures of, on one hand, I've seen HP machines, on the other hand, I've seen Dell machines, I've seen Lenovo machines. They all have, each computer lab kind of gets fitted with whatever the North Korean government at that point can get their hands on. So this basically has to run on the bottom of the barrel, so to speak, because the actual people that matter within the government, they obviously have like decent hardware, decent machines. No, that's really ironic. But I've also seen like old machines like Pentium 3, Pentium 4 machines still being used in 2018. So the specs vary wildly. And I'm genuinely surprised, by the way, 'cause I'm running this on my desktop machine, which I'm genuinely surprised that it recognizes it correctly. But so there's that. This is on the about of the machine. I mean, this basically looks like your average macOS overview. Like, hey, what does the machine have? Does it have SCSI for some reason? What's the VGA adapter? The Ethernet controller. So here we can see a little bit of system information. So it's running like 2.6.38, which is relatively old. By the way, the distro does not support 64-bit. So if you ever decide to, hey, I want to try this myself and do a little bit of investigation, remember, it doesn't support 64-bit processors. So you have to emulate it. A 32-bit processor. What's really funny, so there's that. It shows a bit what's the device, the command line, what's the UUID of the root device, what's the VGA, whatever. This is really interesting. So there's some American stolen fonts in there. So Deja Vu sounds. There's some GPL code there. But this is what's really interesting. There's Wingdings installed. There's actually Wingdings on RedStar OS, which they actually went to the effort of doing that, which really surprises me. Oh, Comic Sans. Oh, no, I don't see Comic Sans. I don't see Comic Sans. I don't see... That would have been awesome, by the way. But no Comic Sans, no. Suffering through Wingdings. A lot of Korean. So the Korean Computer Center is the North Korean computer research lab. So there are some fonts from them, which I'm really curious how they look like, to be honest. So there's that. Another Korean font, another Korean, makes sense. Other than that, another Microsoft stolen font. Vera Sans, yeah, nothing all too exciting. More GPL based fonts, and that's it font wise. This is the font viewer, and now I'm curious. We can actually see the logs. Yeah, it is really funny. On the other hand, what's Microsoft going to do? What's Microsoft going to do about North Korea stealing their Wingdings font? If I were Microsoft, I would wear it with a badge of honor, but that's just who I am. So exe3, it's running SE Linux, which is kind of funny to me. Other than that, no TPM, sure. Yeah, nothing all too exciting. So, as Wayfac already hinted at, there are 2 log files, which is secure info and secure2d, which I kind of hoped that I could show you that, but I can't right now. At least it fires up the SSH server, so maybe I can show it then. But RedStar OS does one thing which is really funny if you think of, or funny. It's their implementation is special. So what they do is every desktop machine has its own fingerprint. So during installation, a file gets generated, and every time a user touches a file with a certain file name extension, or the extension can be found somewhere in the file name, there are headers added at the end of the file which embed that desktop's fingerprint. So say, for example, this machine touches an MP3 file, a WAV file, an AVI file, a video file, or something, then the fingerprint of this machine gets added to the end of the file name or the files, and they're basically ignored by any consumer. So if I then copy these files to another machine and they open them as well, their fingerprints gets appended to those files as well. And so what you get is an entire chain of machines that have touched the files. So we know that this is a way to track external information coming into the country. So if say it's all public knowledge, don't worry. But so if I open some foreign media, my fingerprints of this machine gets added to that file. So if then the authorities find out that I've been watching or find the files, they can trace that back to everybody that has touched or opened those files. So I hope to demo this. I know it's a bit finicky because it's you can't, on this machine you can never get root connection. So it is, and never get root access. So I need to wiggle about a bit with it, but that's one of the things, one of the quote-unquote spywares which this machine has. Other than that, overview of the installed applications. I still find it funny that apparently RedStar OS tries to keep the theme with macOS, even going as far as having things like applications. So like macOS has their folder structure .application or .app. There eventually binary is available, and there's some metadata about the application. They've actually tried to emulate that behavior, which it's really funny. The amount of libraries which are installed and the packages installed on the system. So there's a burning application available. What else? There's a movie thingy going on. FFmpeg is available. Version ancient, of course. There's actually some GNOME packages available. GNOME 2.22. GStream is available. This is one of those things which is really interesting if you know it. So if you are on Linux and you have an HP printer, you're always required to install the HP lib and the HP tools for that. So the fact that they have gone through the effort of including the HP packages for it says something about the rough printer ownership in North Korea, or at least that they have some HP printers available, because why else would you have those libraries installed? So that's really funny, at least very interesting to me. Oh no, printers. Yeah, printers are the worst. I know. Okay, so KD 3.5, not 1. Korean language, of course. Well, an ancient version of the kernel, as we've already determined. Firewire libraries. What else is there? They took the effort of including the Linux firmware package. Yeah, makes sense, right? HP are the worst. What's really funny is it's from 2012. This release is from 2012. This is not the latest release. The latest release is RedStar OS 4.0, but that hasn't been leaked publicly yet on the internet. There are of version 4.0, there are some screenshots available, and there is a Korean economics newspaper that did a rundown of the operating system. They got their hands on it, however they are refusing to release it. I've been basically banging on their doors for like 6 months now, and I'm not the only one that's like, give us the ISO, we want it, we want to know what changed. But so far there's little technical information known about RedStar OS 4.0. I hope that someday the ISOs gets leaked somewhere so I can do a proper rundown. But yeah, that's where we stand right now. So Linux distro out of 2012. They've gone to the effort of installing a MySQL client, which is funny, because there is some application that depends on it, and I unfortunately cannot inspect it. Oh, if you see these numbers, so 114003, that means the 3rd of January, Yuche year 114. So North Korea used to have, and they've done away or doing away with that right now. They've had their year counting in what they call Yuche years, which is their state ideology. And so they've started counting since the birth of Kim Il-sung. So that's when they started counting. So if you see references to 114, that's the current year in Yuche years. They've gone through the effort. Next to that, they've gone through the effort of open LDAP, which kind of raises some questions, and the NTFS tools, because that does indicate either a mixed environment with Windows, at least it hints at it. The open LDAP also could hint at a few things, so that's really interesting. Other than that, system libraries, they have gone through the effort of marking their own releases with their own utils. Yes, I want to go. I seriously want to go to North Korea. I initially planned to go in 2020, but then the big thing happened in 2020, and ever since 2020, the borders have been closed with North Korea. And there have been some hints at the borders reopening, and at the moment they're only opened for Russians, so people with a Russian passport, and closed for the rest of the world at the moment. However, the moment the border opens, I'm getting on one of those state tours. That's something I've always said, like, when I get the chance I'll do it. So that's something which I still want to do. I hope not, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't think my name is too familiar, but we'll see. I need to go through getting a visa and whatnot anyway, so we'll see. Worst case scenario, I don't get entrance into the country. So that means that I'm in China at that point. So, I mean, if that's the worst, then it's fine. But to answer your question, no, I don't think that my current quote-unquote research influences my ability to travel to North Korea. At least I hope not, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, so there's yeah, I'm curious as well. I've basically already know what I want to do in North Korea, what tour I want to do, and we'll see if I can pull it off. Odds are low, one's a snitch. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh. I think, yeah. Hello? So, the distro comes back with a basic comes with a basic Office application. So it's a fork of OpenOffice version 3. I already know that. I know OpenOffice is GPL licensed, but good luck getting the sources from North Korea. Yeah, so those are the custom applications. There's system V in it. There's an ODBC connector apparently. There's some wrapper tools. They've gone to the effort of including wireless tools, so that means the tools which used to be available for configuring your network, your wireless network adapters, have gone to the effort of that. Whole bunch of X11 drivers, including the Cyrillic, so the Russian alphabet ones. Yum, zip, zlib. So there's that. And these are the user supplied the application available for the user. So like I already mentioned, they've gone for the effort of cloning macOS to the letter. So macOS has traditionally always had this /applications folder, and they are keeping it installed, so the .app and then the contents directory and the binary. No, there are no games as far as I know. I know technically you could run TuxRacer on it. One of the things which I'll show, I hope it works, is the web browser. So they call it Nera. No, there are no other languages available. Yes, but only on phones. So for phones, what they have in North Korea, and if you look it up, it's really funny. So the North Korean phones don't have like an app store per se. Not like one we know where there's like, oh yeah, I'm just going on the Google Play Store, or the Google or the Apple App Store, and I'm going to type whatever game I want to play, and then it downloads to my phone. They don't have that. In North Korea, what they have is they have these stores which you go in with your phone, and then you say, I want application X or I want game Y, and then somebody at the store uploads or installs the application onto your phone. So that's how gaming works a bit. And I know Linus Tech Tips made a video on a quote-unquote Wii competitor clone thing type of deal, which is basically a cheap ass 16-bit Chinese console which just basically has bowling on it and Duck Hunt or something along those lines. If you wanna, if you look it up, Linus Tech Tips and then North Korea, you'll find the video. But it's really funny. But welcome to the North Korea rabbit hole, where one question answered equals two more questions raised. So they sort of have, like, in the stores, they have these paper magazines which you can flick through, and with a little bit of description next to it and a screenshot where they say like, hey, this is an application for cooking, or this has recipes, or this is a dictionary, or this is a racing game, along those lines. Whether or not you have to pay money, I wish I knew for those apps, but I don't. That's a bit of a question mark. We can. I wouldn't be surprised if they were free in North Korea, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they were paid. And we've also know that there are students at Pyongyang University, and especially the tech departments, and Kim Il-sung University, which quote-unquote jailbreak North Korean phones, where so that people can upload their own APKs on them. And if you ever want to dig into that rabbit hole, I can give you a few links, because that's super interesting. And now my mouse is acting up again. Okay. Cool. So, yeah, that's what you get when you cut off a country and only let certain pieces of information flow in. People get really creative. I mean, look up the wood-fueled car in North Korea. You'll have another brain explosion on that. Apparently we have a console, so we're going to have a little check on that. What else do we have installed? An address book, system profile, blog browser. I have no clue what this is, and we're just going to figure it out as we go along. I know this is a screenshot grabbing tool. There's the Keystore app, which is basically sort of the keychain access from macOS, where you store your where you can store your passwords and your Wi-Fi passwords and system passwords stored in there. The Mail app. There's a music scoring application, and that's basically what comes with the bare minimum of the installation. So let's have a little look. Let's see. Are we in use or aren't we in use? Okay, we're just going to create a new profile. Yeah, sure. So, when we're talking about accessing internal things, and now I'm really curious what this message says, because I cannot make heads or tails out of this. Okay, so if you want to talk about no, I'm going to read it for you, and you're going to be just as confused as I am. My country's reading machine is not currently set as the default reading machine. Do you want to set it as the default reading machine? And then there's the checkbox that says, when starting a domestic reading machine, please check the default reading machine every time. So the first part is probably about, hey, do you want to set it as the default browser? But the second part, and especially yeah, so that's one of those things where North Korean language differs from South Korean. But one of the things which stand out to me in the entire checkbox is when starting a domestic reading machine. The keyword here being domestic. So, for within the country. So that's really interesting. For the moment, I'm just going to say yes, sure. Start it as a default machine. It's funny and just interesting to see that the default page goes to an internal network, goes to an internal IP address. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it kind of assumes. There are two search engines here. Yeah, but there's only one browser installed. And we can check. I think no. No. I was kind of hoping that there would be something with a default apps, but no. So there are two search engines available, and I think I need to quickly. I think it's update. This is add, I want to say. This is update. And the other one at the bottom is, I think, delete. Oh, it's move upward. And I kind of would have hoped that there would be some options. Yeah, it's so nostalgic. It's so nostalgic. But I was kind of hoping that there would be some more information. And maybe we can figure this out through the where these point to, because I'm willing to, if my VM wants to work along with it, yes. So and this is the other search engine. Yeah. I'm willing to bet. Can I do this? Or haven't I enabled that? Because I should. Let me. I should have settings. Yeah, it is enabled. Yeah. So was it the old the old? I think that was the name of it. The old net. Yeah, no. Let me have a quick peek, because I wouldn't be surprised if ha! There's no DNS enabled. There you go. Let's see. Okay, Okay. No bueno. No network. Okay. It's always DNS even in North. Yeah. But it's really interesting to see, like, it's passing down some when you search for something. So there's something with a BBS, an index of PHP, a select kind, so whatever you're searching for, the date, start date, end date, so between 2002 and 2100. And the browser client. Which is really funny. Of course, there's no hotkeys for closing the browser tabs. Of course not. And then there's the other search engine, which SE search index, keywords, what your character set is, and your browser client. So, yeah, this is basically a fork of Firefox. And now I'm curious. Yeah, I want to continue. No hotkeys. So there is a crash reporter for some reason, which points to that same IP address. And that goes then to crashstats.mozilla.com report/index, which is really curious. Still have references to home.netscape.com. Download directory. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised as well if that's some sort of proxy. Because I do see, like, hey, there's references to safebrowsing.clients on google.com/ I'm starting to think they've either disabled that, because this basically says, do you want to close the window? Which, but it's at least, it's Firefox 1.9? Okay. Some language packs. There's a privacy URL, which for some reason I find really funny. I don't think they can steal my data, but sure. So this is location to google.com. So they've gone through some effort to customize it a bit, but not completely. There are some blacklisted chars for the network. So that's a whitelist. Interesting. Interesting. How to handle certain... I don't think they're necessarily aware of that. I do think that comes with the browser at that point. So they probably just went like, ah yeah, sure, that's going to be fine. But it's really funny that .museum stands out. The other list is pretty regular, right? .biz, .ch, .fi, .jp, .kr, and here are a bunch of either Chinese or emoji-based or Korean TLDs. Yeah, no, Netherlands is not allowed. We're banned. We're banned. But that's really interesting to me. Cool. Other than that, default security settings. I want to say yes, technically it's allowed if .nl has non-ASCII characters. For example, we have the A with the the dash above it, and I know that's technically allowed, but I don't think anybody uses it. Accent, thank you. I couldn't come up with the yeah, so default bookmarks. There's nothing stored in the defaults, which kind of surprises me at a certain level, and at a certain level it doesn't. But yeah, so it's your average your average browser, nothing all too exciting. And I'm actually going to see what this dot about writes. So about software, it's apparently we can use their countries' accessories, as they call it, arbitrarily and copy and distribute them to others. Okay. So apparently we can safely copy RedStar OS if you really want to. Yeah, it's the browser is nothing special, right? I mean, it's just your average ancient version of Firefox, and there's nothing really that stands out other than the URLs, which kind of tickles my brain a bit, like what's going on there. So there's that. This is one of those. So yeah, that was the browser. Yeah. So there's this helper tool, like the old school help from Windows from back in the day, where you had those CMH files and then you could build out a little help menu and whatnot. So there's that. There's There's a PDF viewer. There's a PDF editor. I'm not sure if we have some files somewhere. No. Do we have a PDF somewhere? No. No. No PDFs. Okay. We have a terminal. Okay, so just going to hide you for a second. Basic old sticky notes like, hey, hello. I wouldn't. Okay, so I know I've installed the basic bare function, bare minimum installation, and I know during the installation there was an option to customize it. So I actually want to go through it and see if that contains any additional media files. Yeah, this is basic sticky notes app, as you are probably familiar with from the age-old macOS. So this default media browser, I'm curious to see what it was based on, but I doubt. Yeah, those are just hotkeys. Nah. Want to know what it's based on? Would be really funny to figure that part out. So there's an image viewer. Yeah, clone of QuickTime. Yeah, that's exactly the word I was looking for. Oh. Did it? Oh no, it didn't crash. Okay. So basic Office suite. Now we can check. No, still no Comic Sans. Still no Comic Sans, unfortunately. Obviously there's Wingdings. There are free variants of Wingdings. Okay. Looks like Chinese font, Korean fonts, and yeah, that's just your average. Yeah, document editor. There's an Excel sheet. We can, if we want to, we can make a presentation on how much we like the Kim family. Yeah, it's based on Open Office. Which version isn't particularly known, but it looks like a pretty old version. So yeah, basic spreadsheets, presentation builder. No, okay. So there's that. That's the font viewer, which looks again like an awfully lot like the one from macOS. We've already figured out. So this is an online. I want to call it online, but that's not really a correct description. An updating tool? / package manager. So you could plug in CDs or DVDs or USB drives, and then it will ask you like, hey, where is it? And then you can install additional system packages. They make mention of that you can have a locally repository, but you could also have an FTP or an HTTP repository. And this is apparently downloading it from somewhere else. And I'm really curious what they exactly mean with yeah, so this is adding a URL, and so that's basically the same as that. Yeah, so there's some tool available. There's if I had images, I could have shown there. This is a preview app thingy. There's an email client. Where we could say like, hey, someone at basic email client, nothing all too exciting. There's a music composer tool by default installed. Don't ask me how this works, because I'm definitely not musician material, but apparently, oh yeah, okay, this is fun. Okay, so there's a music tool installed. Can it play things? I either don't have sound working or it doesn't play. But there's this basic music tool available. Can we figure out what it's based on? It's usually, if we look up GPL. Yeah, so we can all sing our praises to the Royal Kim family. Yeah. So there's that is installed by default. There's a calendar app, which again looks an awful lot like macOS. And there's just a regular overview of all the apps which are installed. So that's the terminal, which we're going to dig into in a second. Can my mouse please behave? Does this work? Yeah, now it works again. Cool. So there's an activity monitor. There's the old disk utility clone tool thingy. We can see it's running KDE. Cups is running. Dbus is running. Nothing all too exciting. Yeah. I know you want my password if I can type it correctly. Yeah, this a log viewer. Or it tries to show you when you've tried to boot it. This is an interesting thing to know. This is the for the people that have used Mac OS, the default keychain. You have the certain certificates, the types of information you want to store in that particular chain. And then there's this. It's called Bogum, and it's one of those applications which is running on your machine, but it says you need root access for it. Which is really interesting, because you need to run it as root. However, let's see if we can get root. No, we're not. Thanks. So, by default, there's no user which is allowed to do something in sudo. So, I'm not a sudoer. So we're just going to see how far we can get. Oh. Thank you. Can I? Yes. Cool. Because one of the things which I kind of want to figure out is there are some configuration files here, which, for example, here's rarlist.lst. I kind of want to figure out what's in that. For solid archiving. Okay. 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 Kind of expected something else, but don't know. Thank you. Talk to you later, Lucian. So there's I think that sorry, Elisa. Sorry. So let's see if we can get some more information on this, because apparently there's okay. There's some daemon being force started, which is really funny to me. Like, what's that daemon doing? Because I would imagine that can we figure it out? Ahoy! So trying to see right now if can I get some more information on What those daemon files are doing. LSB is LSB 1. Let me know. Yeah, of course not. Of course I don't have that. Because I would imagine. Of course, copy and pasting doesn't. Shift insert. Who would have guessed? Yeah, that's. Kind of want to figure out, like, hey, what's this thing doing? What's the demon which is starting, and what does it do? Because does something either on force or on nice, which yeah, you would always almost think that, right? Is this commando.exe? No, it's the KDE terminal emulator from 2011, 12, modified by the North Koreans. So there's that. But I'm curious. I want to know what this LSB-1.1 does. Because what's shift insert? Thank you. Because it loads up something. Yeah, success, sure. Status. Looks like an awful lot of. Honestly, I don't know if KDE Terminal ever did shift insert. I can't remember. I've never was one of. I never ran KDE for that long. I pretty much quickly jumped onto GNOME, and then I've had a whole bunch of window managers which I've used, and then I've jumped back to GNOME or GNOME. Sorry. Yeah, so it's the same for GNOME. It's a Control Shift V. But as you can clearly see, it's Shift Insert here. But there's also no hotkey for copying, which is kind of annoying. We're just going to figure this out. We're just going to have a little look into this. So apparently there's this splash file, which is apparently loads up the splash screen. Oh, script to paint the progress bar during system startup or shutdown. Starting run by the init scripts, and it's written by two guys from SUSE and Mandrake. So there's that. There's some initialization. Okay, so this pretty standard stuff. So just want to have a quick little peek, because yeah, this is just your average desktop files, which we've already known them. So what does it execute? What's the icon? What's the name? What's the name in North Korean? What's the generic term? Browse the web. Sure, what's the app ID? Of course I don't have Nano. Do I have Pico? Do I have VI? Yes, I have VI. Okay. So they've done some modifications to this? The original code is Gogozilla, the lore code. The initial developer of the original code is Netscape Communicate. Okay. Archaeology movement over here. So this is basically some wrapper logic? Because then we say like, hey, this is the Mozilla library, dear? And then we set the home directory to... whatever this is? Okay. Shift insert. Is this... Why? So... we start resolving some... Okay. Sure. This is such a weird thing. It's baffles me. Cause so this is eventually the binary. That's what it looks like. Yeah. So it's forking. Okay. Yeah, so the NRR browser is eventually what kicks off the browser. But this now curious, because what? Say we've got the calculator out as a contents. So instead of the default Mac OS directory, it has a RedStar directory. And that contains the calculator app. Okay. Is this then also... yeah, this is also the binary. Interesting. Cool. Now let's see. We can do... because... yeah, they've gone through quite some effort to make it look like Mac OS. They've actually gone through quite some effort for this. So, what we're going to do now... I hope I'm pressing the wrong... oh, I am pressing the... yeah. So, what we're going to do... is going to step through the entire installation process. Because as I mentioned earlier, add new. Yeah, we're going to give you 4 gigs of RAM. We're going to give you 2 cores. So that's the desktop one. Three, two, one. It's going to need a second here to boot up. Now what I actually want to see is like, what are the customization options we have? Because during the installation, it has the option to say like, hey, what do you want? Do you want just a speed installation, or do you want the fully quote unquote advanced option? So it's going to need a second over here. I hope. Yeah. Or did it crash? Or did it crash? Is this the trick? Ah, that's the trick. Cool. Now it's asking me like, hey, you wanna initialize the drive? Yes. Where do you want it? So I'm just going to make a user for myself. Test password. So the HTTP settings, region, where do you live? Well, we're obviously living in the best city in the world. It's funny that even though all the other references it makes time-wise, this is the only one that references like the Western year counting. So now it's asking like, hey, we're going to install. You have the option to say no, yes, or you have the option to customize. So there's apparently quite some options. And now I'm curious what those options are. Yeah, so I think this is the state propaganda, and I'm not joking. This is an application for the scanner. If you want to have the camera app, fine. So, and now I'm curious what the other apps are. Quickly need to. My phone wants to work. Yeah. Throw this through the translating app. So. Okay, so this is the help tool, which we already covered. This is something they call all around 3.0. And my guess is this is a wine emulator. So we're going to install that. This is, I think this is a Flash player. SWF. This is being translated into silver plates. Sure, let's go with that. Exactly, propaganda is always good. So this is a zipper unzipper tool, and the other one is called Fantasy. it would it be Silverlight? I honestly have. We're going to figure it out. How does that sound? Because that's the only thing which kind of makes sense. Silverlight, 2010, 12. So there's that. So this is a bunch of development tools. Yeah, it does make sense. So a bunch of software development tools, Java, the Qt free /KDE free SDK for Java. So for the Python developers among us who wants to have a little horror and have a little guess of how old this Python version is going to be, my guess is going to be somewhere pre 2.7. We'll see. The manuals for the software development. Python. Oh, you're willing to put. Oh, that would be nice. Python 2.4. Okay, so there's a default LAMP stack available. So the Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP. So this is, they call it an edit program for development, so I guess some form of an IDE. And this is what they call the Samsung. Yeah, it could be Eclipse. I wouldn't be surprised if this is Eclipse. By the way, now I come to think about it, it's Eclipse free. So we're going to load this entire machine up. Okay, yeah, go for it. It's relatively quickly installed, I've got to say. At least the base image was. So we'll see. So while this one is still running, if I can properly escape. I'm going to put this one on the side. And we're going to boot up the server edition. So, in my opinion, this is the most interesting, quote unquote. So, the server edition has two options. You can install it with or without the GUI. I obviously installed it with a GUI. They make a reference here to something which they call a service pack. And I'm really wondering, like, service pack 1. Like, what could be the previous one? Now I have to think this was my password. Yeah, cool. So, this UI looks a whole lot different. This looks more like what I expect a KDE environment to look like. Like, hey, we have the we have some semblance of quote unquote an environment we expect. So there's a tool to input quick helper for Korean, for Hiragana, Katakana, Cyrillic, noble names, sure, Latin characters, and Japanese, Korean. So there's that. There's a help tool, so if you get lost, we at least have that. By default, there's not a lot you can see. There's a terminal. Please. Yeah. And now, I think that's the... Oh, I have to run the setup tool first. Okay. So it comes with a custom-made, I want to call it custom-made, server tool, which you can use to remotely configure machines. So I have to quickly go through the Google Translate helper tools, because okay. They're asking me questions. So first thing they ask me, like, hey, what's your username? What's your password? What do you want as an admin password? And for some reason, I keep making typos, which doesn't help. Okay, so now I'm in. So I've made my user and it's asking me for a port to use. So sure. It's asking me what kind of port do I want to use, and it's giving me an error. So let's. Oh. So let's see. It probably wants something beyond port 10,000 and so it's not giving me yeah it's let's see. Oh, okay, so that was it. Cool. Yeah. Actually, if you check out the server edition, it's there's actually like zero malicious stuff going on there. There's nothing that I need to see, cause yeah, I remember this. Yeah. So, yeah, the service doesn't have a certificate enabled. That's correct. And what I'm trying to do right now is yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's partially based on Webmin, which makes it really interesting, because beam restart. So okay, so now it has disabled SSL. Okay. So this is the most interesting part, in my opinion, to the server edition. So there's this entire web interface they've made where you could connect to other servers and you could have like a log of what's going on. So they have can I get a okay, you have a log of what's going on. You could edit access, you could configure SSL. What's really interesting to me is they've enabled SSL, and if you check, there is a certificate over here. I've got to quickly. Is that verify? Verify. They only do self-signed, which makes sense, but I would have kind of expected a certificate in here, which was given out by the Korean Computing Center. Like some master overview certificate. That's what I would have expected. But I don't see that. So what's we see the usual suspects over here from back in the day. So half we see, I think this is a Korean telecom provider. What else do we have? Oh, it's too much. Okay, let's less it. Chinese provider. There is. I think this is an Italian provider. Italian certificate provider. Time Warner. More Time Warner. Wait, we can. Subject. subject, and then we say less. So, Time Warner, AdTrust, America Online, Baltimore Cyber Trust. There's Komodo, DigiCert. If you remember, then you remember DigiNotar. Especially the Dutchies will remember that. So, GeoTrust certificates from 2007, 2008. Hong Kong Post. Yeah, it all, other than it being like anciently old, right, by today's standards. I mean, a certificate of the Dutch government is in there. Swiss sign. It's. I kind of would expect it there to be. Like a certificate that was signed out and given out by the North Korean government, but it's not. I don't see it. So that's really interesting, because that's what I would have expected. So there's a script to generate a dummy certificate. Okay. What does the makefile do? Yeah, it just generates the key files for that. But yeah, back to what they call Beam. It's basically. Can you please not log me out? Thank you. Yeah, it's basically regular webmin stuff and nothing all too exciting actually, other than the cat has decided to join as well, but it's a basic admin tool as you would have expect. Like GDM is running, Postfix is running, there's a MySQL server running, there's a Radius server running, there's it's really like, okay, sure, it is what it is. So there is the option to load extra information and extra. Yeah, there's also a values running. There's the option to load in additional RPMs, which as you might expect, the entire repos, there's no repo, there's no file, there's nothing. And there's all the oh. So for example, if I check it loads the fastest mirror, but there's no way to check. There's no way to get any additional information. So, and I don't think. Yeah, so this is basically what we've already kind of seen before. This is just your average. For some reason, they've decided to include pulse audio in the hooks. Yeah, that's Skittles. Skittles has decided to join as well. But PHP is installed. Nmap is installed. Yeah. That's looks pretty. Yeah, I know. 2.6.6. But there's no way to. I keep getting logged out. Oh, Skittles. Why are you blessing me with your presence? This tool keeps logging me out, and it's super annoying. Yeah, so there's the option to configure the DNS server. The DHCP server, sorry. There's DNS available. Which is like what you would have expected from a tool like that. Like, hey, what do you want? Do you want a CNAME? Do you want IP addresses it needs to listen to? It's basically bind configuration. DNSSEC. Yeah, exactly. So I'm doing this one-handed right now. Same with the MySQL server. I know it's ancient and whatnot. Where can we get some type of versioning? Am I scrolling through it somewhere? Yeah, probably. MyESUM. Oh, it's probably MySQL 3. something. MySQL 5.5 Community Edition. Okay. But there's a Postgres server running, or the postfix. Sorry. You can configure that. There's an SSH server. There's some Samba things going on. There's Sentinel if you want it. Apache Tomcats is there. There's an VSFTP. Sure, there's a proxy server. There's Quid. MySQL 4.2. Oh my god. Suddenly my back hurts. Apache 2.2. It's okay. There's NFS. What else do we have? Oh yeah, we have the network configuration, which is fine. There's a firewall. Yeah, I don't know why you would want to, but you could configure grub. There's file disk management. We could cluster the thing. I know that's an option. We can set some stuff for the PHP ini. We can do some HT password. Skittles has already run away. She was like, nope, I'm out. Oh yeah, this is the helper tool. But yeah, they've gone through some effort to make this configurable, which surprises me. So yeah, you could cluster them, and yeah. Yeah. Let's run away from old school MouseQual. Let's definitely run away from that. In the meantime, let's have a quick little peek. Can my mouse? Yeah, there it is. Because the reinstallation is done of the desktop. So yeah. Yeah, that's nothing all too exciting. So we're going to do. Other than that, I've had a look through the server version. There's nothing that's like really of interest, other than it's a Red Hat Linux distro with with a different name on it, and it's slightly old and slightly wonky. And the only thing that's worth noting is they took the effort of wrapping up webmin into its own little proprietary little thingy, and so yeah, that's like the server edition of RedStar OS. They gone through some effort for that. So this is the reinstallation. Let's see. Now we've added a whole bunch of stuff. That looks a little more like I would expect it to be. With a lot more tools. What are you? APM. Are we going to load up, or are we? Okay. Are we going to? I know you're a bit wonky from time to time, but at least want a terminal. That's at least something which I want. Okay, we have a non-functioning application, which wouldn't surprise me. Okay, that's running. Cool. So, what I really want to know is there it is. Come on, give me the list. Thanks. So this is one of the things which I thought was could be APM being the ACPI predecessor. Like... Oh! No! So... I think... It's this Apache PHP MySQL tool. So that's what is booting up. Makes sense that we didn't saw it. It's yeah, sure. It wants a username and a password. Would my local password and username be enough? No, please don't store that. And let me... Okay. No. But it is Webmin again. It's again Webmin. I don't know if there's people that still remember the icon. But it sure as hell looks like Webmin. So here you can say like, hey, start, stop, MySQL Apache. And then by extension of that, going out on a limb here, root. No, of course not. Admin. Aww. Oh, that's so sad. I blocked myself out. I blocked myself out, unfortunately. Yeah, admin. 8 characters or get the fuck, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've completely blocked myself out of this, unfortunately. So... I'm curious. So, a lot of the apps we've already seen before, right? It's a PDF viewer, PDF editor. This is probably some sort of Flash player, which... Yeah, Shockwave Flash player. Shocking, given 2010s. But I can see a Microsoft icon, and I see a Microsoft control panel. And I'm really curious. What is this? So, is this some wrapper around wine or something, in which we can say like, hey, I want to load up Adobe Photoshop 7 with presets or something? Because that's my first thought. It's yeah, so it is pretty common knowledge that if you take any image out of which has been publicized in the North Korea propaganda, and you pull the metadata. If the metadata is still there, there's a 95% chance it's some form of Adobe Photoshop, either 7.0 or CS2. It's hilarious. But now I'm curious, because what do you say? Because I cannot make heads or tail out of this dialogue. Okay, so this... Oh, I feel like an absolute noob, and I'm sure I'm going to need it. Okay. Sure as hell looks like a... This looks like some custom... Yeah, this is a wine config tool. Interesting. Now I wonder. 'Cause... I think it's... Oh no, that's the software management tool thingy. Can I... I want to know, is this some custom tool, or yeah, that's really funny that the Stickies app is 7.777, so everybody can access it. The rest cannot. The Keystore app, the one where you're supposed to store your safe credentials, is publicly accessible to everybody as well. So, yeah, you are in applications. Okay, Kuka is apparently the scanner application. That's good to know, but that's not what... Is that app link? No. Gu Chang Hang. Oof. No. Because they've If put this all in the same folder. So there's the terminal. Sounds like somebody needs a little bit more coffee. Oh. Give me info. No. Okay. Yeah, so it is in the app link directory. Where do you point to then? You are completely empty, my friend. Yeah, they called it... Oh. They are calling it Crosswind. And it's supposed to be in the / application applink crosslink directory. But why are you suddenly here? So this is all just your regular... So this is definitely some config tool for wine. Which is really interesting. And I really want to know, did they write it themselves? Or did they... Is this some off-the-shelf thing? Yeah, so they mentioned like, hey, this is how you do it. This is how this tool works. Talking something about fonts. Their level of support. If I read this correctly, the liquefy filter is broken. Doesn't work on Photoshop 7. So that's fun. So that's some helper tools. Where apparently certain things can be found. CS2, okay. Same thing for CS5, okay. Interesting. Yeah, I want to quit it. Yeah. Stickies app. Do you want to play? I have no clue how to play this. What? Okay. I'm too stupid for this. Application utils. Yeah, so this is the Bocam app. Keychain. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Crosswin. Dash version 1.2.2. So if we want to talk about ancient versions, I think that's text editor, sure. Yeah, of course you can't find a webcam. Yeah, apparently that's supposed to run Photoshop 12, which honestly kind of surprises me. Because even with modern day versions of Wine, it's still questionable at best. So but that's really something which I kind of want to figure out one day, if I can figure that part out, because it comes with a whole bunch of tools. It comes with a MySQL tool. My guess will be Notepad. Yeah. Yeah, Qt Designer 4. There's a debugger tool. There's which was presumed by some people to be Eclipse. But it looks like a C and C++ compiler tool. How? So yeah, this is just your basic From the looks of it, an IDE. So this is a GUI design tool. So sure, give me a button and give me a checkbox and give me a list. And give me a whole bunch of options. Can I demo this? And I can toggle things and I can press buttons. Okay. So, and then this subsequently will be all the reference guides. So there's a GNOME UI library. I'm curious. Yeah, so this is for GObject 2.24, XML, Poplar, Python. Which honestly is what it is. Other than that, I still want to figure out what's exactly in this binary. Because it says we need root. We need root access to launch it. So, other than that, we now have a webcam tool, which doesn't work because there's no webcam attached, which it recognizes. There's a little preview tool. There's the font viewer, there's the calculator app, there's the contacting tool. There's the other preview tool. There's the broken scanner tool. Is this... no, I don't want your tips of the day. This is a painting tool. So... yeah, this looks like a fork of GIMP. But Hansang. Hosang. Oh, okay. Yeah, some. Yeah, it's definitely GIMP. It's some form of forked version of GIMP, which they rebranded. No. Which I kind of find funny that they went to the effort of doing that. So there's an archiving tool. which is there something? No. I don't have any files to compile. So there's still the email client. There's a disk burning tool, which I would imagine it's probably based on some old version of K3B. Yeah, that's what I thought as well. Some old version of K3B. That's the music tool again. So that's all the default supplied tools. Or apps, I should say. Cool. Now I'm curious. Okay. It's Python 2.6. So was compiled on the 7th of October. Yeah, was compiled using GCC 4.4 on Red Hat, the Red Hat branch. Okay. Yeah, it does. That's the same version which it's compiled with. So apparently it links to boxilla.redhat.com. Yeah, so the only thing which I really want to figure out is what does this binary exactly do? For that, where no, there's the network options. Oh yeah. Okay, so what I'm really curious about. I cannot ping Google. Can I even get access to the outside world from this machine? No, of course not. Because I kind of want to sneak this out. I want to sneak out this Bokum app. Or what I want to do is see if I can elevate myself to become a pseudo user. So root can have all, and everybody can have access to the software management tool, the image mounting, yeah, and the RSS sidebar daemon. Okay. Because the software management tool, that means that apparently the hotkey for a new window, what you would expect, so Control-Shift-N, opens a new tab. If you ever want to know. Sir. Because that would mean that if you yeah, that's what I thought. They've disabled the repositories. Yeah, so they've had the core, which is a media ID. Yeah, and the other one is a device connected to /media, which most likely is either your in a regular use case would probably be your your CD or DVD drive. However, that might be able to do. And I need to check. Because what I'm thinking is, theoretically, as long as I can elevate myself towards root. Oh wow, even the media keys work. Okay. And I'm curious to see, what if I just externally mount this pseudo OS file and just overwrite it. Because that would mean I have root, and then I can open this Bocam application. And can I please... Oh. I would be surprised as well, but we're going to figure it out. I think in order for me to do that, yeah, I need to pull the machine offline. Let's see if we can pull this off. Because... and then I need to quickly... I know there are some tools for that under Linux. Oh wow, that's going to be easy. Cool. Can I get a terminal? So, oh. Ah, typing hard. RedStar mount. Cool. V-Box. Yeah, typing definitely is hard. So, allowed, and then we say media. V-Box. Image mount. I can also give a path, okay? VirtualBox, VMs, RedStar, 3 installation, and what's the path? Okay. Okay. RedStar mounts. Volumes. Oh, and then I can... Okay. Cool. Oh, that might also be an idea. So, what I'll do... What was my username again? I think it was... All is... I think that should be it. Just for good measures. Let's make a backup of the file. Okay. And I need to say... Is that eject? Is that unmount? Or can I just... Okay. That should be enough. Let's restart it. Yeah. So far the OS is booting. Okay. Can I please get my... Thank you. What I actually want... I think that's Grub, but it's like a very early version of Grub. Why are we crashing? Why are we crashing? What are we doing? Did we just ran out of memory or what? Okay. Why did we crash? Okay, sure. Can I... Okay. in theory, did it revert it? What did it do? So I've lost my changes to my I've lost my changes to my sudo OS file. But funnily enough, it never restored my even my backup file is gone, which implies that there is some sort of shenanigans going on with what's going on in the etc directory. Which I really find funny. Which I really find funny. Can I? Because I know there are root exploits. I know there are root exploits. And that would be an option as well. Apparently, according to some guy on the internet, and I'm not sure, I mean, some rando on the internet, like what? Apparently, user bin sbin. Then it wants a root password. Okay. now I should be able to... Okay, apparently I'm root. Cool. And now I have a fairy. So now... Oh wait, I do this, but I don't have to. Slash. Utilities. Does that mean that I can now log myself out? Yeah, now I have a different option, and now I can say root. And I'm the sysadmin, apparently. Okay. There's the util. And now let's see what the help text has to say about this application. Because it mentions something about USB and 2, and it has a locking tool. Unable to connect. Okay, it's apparently a tool to encrypt partitions or virtual disks. So Bogan provides users with transparent. Why is this locked behind a root user account? That's my first thought. Like, why do you need root for this? Yeah, I can think of a reason, but Transparent encryption means that once the user reuses an encrypted medium, the password can be rewritten like a regular partition. The password you enter is not stored in any secondary memory connected to the computer. It's only memory when the password is entered. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking about. Like, that can be the only that can only be the reason why they've hidden this behind the root user. Bogan supports various cryptographic algorithms, including the National Standard Cryptographic Algorithm PLISON, and reuses a key length of 256 bits. The encryption media provided included yeah. Okay, so in theory, that would mean that... Give me a terminal. Is this how you stay in the dock? Okay. Interesting. There's a bunch of logs going on. Group admin doesn't exist. Yeah. Yeah, so this is just so segment fault because the installation fit, of course. All the libraries for sure. Is there anything? Yeah, sure. So we can either encrypt the program that encrypts partitions or provides encrypted virtual disks. So I would imagine that this one's for an entire disk and this one is just for a virtual partition or for a virtual disk. Yeah. Where do we want to store this thing? Okay. Yeah, you know what? Let's be generous. 250 megs. So this is their own encryption standard, and they have AES2 fish and blowfish. They probably want a password. Going for the most secure password ever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exclamation mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exclamation mark. We want VFAT, sure. Okay.
Maybe I lost my way. Maybe you had gone too far.
So that means that... Huh. And I had no clue what they mean by this. So... Translator, come here. My guess is it's probably... Yeah, not even ext4. I don't even think that Linux 2.6 supports ext4. I think ext3 was the latest. Okay, so translation isn't helping much with this. The first option is great, we already figured that part out. Second part is called elimination, and the third option is called mounted, and after that it's called unloading. So this is probably unmounting. This is mounting, I would imagine. But I cannot select this file. Is the mouse? Yeah, mouse is acting up again. So it's... Oh, suddenly we're working again. Okay. Okay, I jinxed it. It's going into the top left corner. Oh. Yeah, so it's 2.6.38. Okay. I would imagine that elimination probably means something like wipe. And this is probably the confirmation of what it wants. Yeah. I want to mount you. If I create a new one, does it need a certain extension or something? Because if I say like, hey, I want to mount it, I cannot select it. Or I could do this, and then it probably wants password. 5, 6, 7, 8. Exclamation mark. Okay, we're going to create a new one. Okay. Oh. Give me help. Because... Oh shit. Oh shit. Give me 1 second. Oh no. Yeah. when I was just finagling with the virtual box mouse hover thing, I accidentally pressed the stop button on granting OBS access to my desktop. So this, yeah, cool. Yeah, so now it should work again. But that was fun, yeah. Because yeah, so that's for new drive. I say good luck, have fun. I have a theory. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight! Exclamation mark. Cool. So, from the looks of it, I now have okay. Apparently no, I don't want to wipe this. Three, four, five, six, seven, eight! Exclamation mark. Looks like we've just mounted it. We did. Okay. So that means that I could now say like, hey, copy my and the install.log.syslog to the do we have Apparently I have my 2. Okay, means that I could now unmount it. And now they're gone. Remount. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's so that was a tool. Yeah, and then yeah, you could yeah, that's complete direct. Yeah. So if you have a different partition, then you could say like, hey, I'm going to format this entire partition, and then that entire partition is formattable. So there's that. Okay. Just want to close these tabs. What does that mean? Ah, yeah. Okay, apparently we needed root access for accessing this basic webmin interface. Apparently we're running something on localhost. So httpd config yeah, so we should be listening on port 80. Okay. Oh. Why is there a code igniter app here? WavePass code igniter? Codeigniter.ext. System? Codeigniter? So this is... Why does this come with a code igniter install out of the box. So depend... What? So... Why? There's a block controller? At this point, I'm not sure if this is serious or a joke. Because it says on the index, my country is good for my job. And the other one says, look here. Like echo, look here. There's a welcome? Okay. Sure. Because then we... Yeah, so that's just basically the references to the controllers and the fuse. But there's nothing in the helpers. What do we have? Why does this come with a preloaded code igniter? Is there anything in the cache? Yeah, no, there's nothing in the cache. So, yeah. So there's some drivers being set. MySQL, MSSQL, MySQL, sure. What you want to do, Postgres, whatever. Are these the original helpers, or are they modified? There's language English. There was a time when I wrote why. So there's a JS calendar and there's a CAPTCHA PI file and there's a scaffolding. Can I Okay. Okay, so this is default code igniter. Probably the and I'm going to bat. Yeah, that's what I thought. This is all just default. Form validation. So this is oh. Now I wonder what specific version of code igniter is this? Is there application config? Oh. Yeah. Output compression. Did they modify things? Huh, funny. Windows Longhorn. POS IRX, yeah, sure. Alt values commented out, so BlackBerry, Motorola, Paul, the iPod Touch. Wow. I want to figure out, like, how the reason why I hate VI. Okay, so this is a manual. Virtual host, okay. HTML. There's okay. Base 5. Interesting. There's the constants? No. Grab mini version? Yeah, that works. I'm drawing blanks here. Quick peek. There's nothing in logs. Check, double check. No. Scaffolding. Fuse. I would love to know what version this is. I know it's ancient, but I'd love to know it. 'Cause so I've always had this question of certain North Korean websites have you know that they are written in PHP. You can clearly tell. So I think a decent example of that. Yeah, this is the first news article I pick. This is the Rodong Shimun, which is the state propaganda news agency, or the primary one. But you can see that they do something with index.php, and then there's this hash. And I've always wanted to figure out, like, hey, what's this running on? I could never figure it out. Because there's no, like, clear indication of why. Because if you look at the HTML which it outputs, there's nothing it tells, right? There's no runs jQuery, and it's not the best of the best, so I would say. But they do some weird shit. So they grab the URL, and then they have this. Anyway, I've always wondered, like, what's on the back end of this? What's on the back end of this? Because it is PHP. There's no doubt about that. But it's so weird because I've tried figuring it out by hand. There's nothing which tells me, like, hey, here's framework X, right? I mean, if you develop on Laravel, for example, you know there's certain session headers being set. I know Symfony has something similar. But I could never figure it out what it might be, and I completely forgot about the option of, hey, maybe it's just code igniter. Maybe it's just code igniter. So there's that. Okay, so that's an interesting nugget. Another interesting thing is that for some reason they've decided to call it first.php instead of index.php. Which... maybe I should just start. But... magic. Oh. Yeah. Oh, shit. Oh, my first gut instinct is when I here I do it again. If I want to search for something, so say for example, I want to know something about PHP. Okay, pattern can be found. Okay, index. I've been using Nano for ages, so my instinct is Control W, which means search, and then I can just bump through whatever I'm looking for. With VI, or with this terminal, it's like, yeah, how about we just close the window? Okay. Welcome. Okay. php.conf. Okay. Directory index. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. So... oh. Can I... so they have, by default, they have mod security enabled. Okay. Okay. Because this is interesting. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's just... yeah. So... just regular old... SSL configuration What's in this readme? Oh, okay. So yeah, this is yeah, PHP version 5 dot whatever. But it's funny because if you look at any, like, literally any request, so this is from Rodon Shimon. Let me quickly zoom in. Yeah, so the server says it's an Apache server 2.4, RedStar OS 4, but they're still rocking PHP 5.6, which, like, even in 2020 was already RedStar OS 4.0 presumably was released in 2020. So even in 2020, oh, let's modify 2020. Okay, even in 2020, this was already a dicey proposition to start with. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think this is it. I mean, there's nothing more else to show you guys. Yeah, other than yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's yeah, yeah, this is it, I think. I mean, I've shown you everything that at least that I know of that's in the OS. So yeah, there's not anything to show anymore. So I hope this is a fun thing. This was fun. It was a learning experience for you. Yeah. So I think for me it means wrap up time, because I'm already streaming for almost 4 hours now. So yeah, that's it. If you have any questions after seeing this either live or on VOD, contact me over Mastodon, send me a DM, feel free to hit me up. There's also my websites in there as well, which there you can find my email address as well. If you have questions, let me know, hit me up on email, hit me up on Mastodon, and Yeah, then I will say good luck for whatever time it is for you. And maybe I'll talk to you later. And let me quick. Yes. All right. Talk to you later.